Hello everybody, it's so nice to be here with you. I'm so excited. I really love coming live. It's one of the funniest and more connective experiences that Facebook offers. So I just want to talk today a little bit about something that happened to me today and that I think many of you might find useful as well, which is a trauma response or a stress response called freeze. So, hi, welcome. So, a freeze response, it's when we actually start just not feeling, dissociating. We find it hard to find the will to go on, to find the will to keep on going. We might even just have difficulty breathing and just start just, like going into a little fetal position. That's pretty much a stress response. And I had one of those today as I was working on my stretching. I did a yoga class online. I was following a yoga class. That's actually why I posted the little video about Celeste, because I am so sure I pretty much look like that, trying to stretch and going like pretty ungraciously. So I was doing my yoga class stretching, and then I discovered that I found a part in my body that was particularly tense. And this part in my body that was particularly tense, as I tried to just go into it, to connect a little bit deeper into it, to just breathe into it, to bring my awareness into my body instead of disconnecting from my body, which is what we usually do. When we feel tension, we just think of something else. No, I was just going deeper into the sensations I was experiencing. What I discovered was that there was an emotion contained in there. There was a stress response in there. There was an emotional flashback that happened as I went into that part of my body, because our bodies hold our emotions. They hold the scar tissue of our emotions. So I was feeling these emotions as I was going deeper into my body, and these emotions took me into this place of freeze. I literally froze. I started noticing that it was harder for me to breathe, that I was just giving up, that I was just like, yeah, I'm so clumsy, I just must look stupid, yeah, no, I won't even try, why, no, this defeated energy. And then I was like, okay, wait a minute, I am having a stress response, I am having a freeze response. That's why my body doesn't want to move. That's why I'm having difficulty actually moving, stretching. And it was, there were memories, random memories that came. But it has to do with not just one memory or one situation, but it's literally the collection of emotions that we have felt that are just like this tension in our body. Everybody has had that very livid in their necks and shoulders. When you have to deliver your work for whatever day and you haven't finished and you just have been working hard for days, and then you feel like this tension and it hurts and you're just like this. And the moment you start relaxing and somebody starts giving you a massage, it hurts like hell. And after it hurts like hell, you relax and then you can move again. That's pretty much what happens with our body, with different parts of our body. Our nerves create this sensation of tension as a reaction to emotional stimuli. Our nervous system reacts to emotional stimuli and it tenses, and it's harder to let go, especially because we start just disconnecting from our body, right? Because it's easier to notice that in your shoulders, but when you're just losing flexibility in your legs, you don't really explore that. You just think, well, maybe I just need to work out more, but you don't really explore the emotions in there. But when you do, emotional flashbacks may happen and stress responses may come. And that's what I went through. So I just went deep into my stress response as I recognized it as what it was. And I cried my eyes out. I was just crying like crazy. I just needed to weep, to cry. And yes, it was for the memories of the times in which I felt inadequate in a class because I was clumsy or whatever. Or it was, but there was so much more than that. There was this sense of feeling inadequate, like in life in general, and that was collected into my body. That was collected into my muscles that were tense, and I cried and cried and cried. And then I wrote to a very dear sister of mine because I needed to be witness. So I wrote to her, telling her my experience. And after crying a little bit more, I went back to the class. I was like, okay, I have released this, I can go back to my class. And it was so enjoyable, so delightful. I just stretched and I felt the joy in the movement. And I am sharing this with you because this happens to all of us at some level, in some point in life, and particularly right now. The coronavirus is not just about the virus right now. It's about the unresolved trauma that it is bringing up from fear of money, trauma around money, from trauma because of the experiences that the generations before us lived, because we have that in our DNA. It has been scientifically proved that we carry the trauma of previous generations in our DNA. And of course, the collective response. So we are accumulating that tension in our body, that fear, that stress, and as a response, we have a tendency. There are 4 main tendencies, and I will share in the comments or in another post the interview I did with a trauma expert that she explains this much better than I do. She was one of my mentors. But when we have a response to stress, we respond mainly through fight, like I have to keep on going, I will make it happen. Rah! Or we respond or feeling angry at people. Why are they overreacting? Or the media is controlling me. It's like we just lash out. We respond by flight. We just don't want to know anything about that. You know what? I will just go and watch Netflix, and whoever mentions that, I just don't want to hear that person. I don't want to know anything about that. I will go and party, and I will go, we try to avoid the situation. We respond by freeze, which was my reaction in the morning, which is like, okay, why bother? Yeah, I'm gonna just wait here and die. Or we respond by fawn, which is like, okay, what can I do to please you? What can I do to make you know that I'm on your side? Which doesn't really apply to this moment, but it applies like in life, especially women. We are so used to the fawn reaction. We are so used to say, hey, well, women that suffer in abusive relationships, they go like, yeah, I try to have his meals warm and ready every day because I want to be the perfect wife. And it's like this accommodating the person that we know has the decision of our life and death situation, of our survival. Even if it's not really in his hands or her hands for us to survive, somehow we think that they do. So We have these reactions in our body. We collect them in our body. Our body is the receptacle of these reactions, even before we know that in a mental level. You know, I was just explaining to you how even before I knew I was falling into a freeze response, my body was just doing this. So my body was just knowing that that was the response, and I was just like this. I'm having difficulty breathing. I just realized I was starting to skip a breath. Just not like dying, but like just not breathing with that ease, right? Well, we have that as a natural reaction in our body before our minds know, okay? But they stay in the body, and that's an issue. They stay in the body. Even long after the threat has passed, they stay in the body. So in 1 year from now, when everything is better, when we are no longer quarantined, and when we have already recovered financially as much as possible, or are in even better situations because fuck it, we can do it, we are going to find that our body still will hold a deep layer of tension unless we start working on releasing that tension, releasing that stress. For this, there are different methods, and it's important. Right now, it's harder to see because right now we're in the middle of the life or death threat situation. But we need to start looking for ways to allow our nervous system, our bodies, to ease through this situation. And one of the ways in which we can do it better is, of course, we cannot do it just here in our mind. We have to do that in a physical level. And one of the ways is connecting to our sexuality, which magically and beautifully and naturally gets turned on when we are in danger. Have you realized that when we are in danger, it's like there's a spike of creativity and there's a spike of, like, what do you think that after wars people just start having babies? Because there is this need for the sexual energy to go back and connect to life. It is life energy, reconnecting. Okay, so we have that source of power in our pussies or in men's genitalia. It's the root chakra. It's there, the base of our sexual energy, and it feels more alive than ever when we are in danger. And our body needs to move, to let this energy move through it. There are different ways to move this energy. We can do just to release the stuck energy. We can do breath work, which is something that I will do later on. Here I promise I'll share some breath work practices. We can just shake and dance. We can do yoga or, movement that helps us connect to our body, not just dancing. I do weightlifting and I love weightlifting, but weightlifting, it's a very controlled movement where you have to be aware of the movement. When movement that helps you release the tension is more about movement that allows you to shake, to move the energy through you. Okay, we can do that, and that's why so many people are looking for online yoga, online dancing classes. People are devouring those kind of contents right now because we are craving that. But I have another option, which is the JADE EGG practice. So the JADE EGG practice, it's a practice where we use this little thing, jade egg, because it's made of jade or nephrite stone. There are many different materials right now, but the same practice can be done without this tool, right? So this is a tool that it's beautiful and super powerful, but the practices, the JADE EGG practices per se are more about Taoist practices that can be done even without the JADE egg. They can be done just with the fingers, or just with, you know, with this energy or conscious awareness of your body. So I will be teaching a class on how to use this practice, not just the tool of the JADE egg, but the practice, which involves breathing, shaking, moving, pleasure, and this connection to this sacred life energy, and this connection to the emotions that arise when we connect to our bodies. All of this is encapsulated in the JADE egg practice. So if you have ever heard about the JADE egg practice, you might think that it's just about, you know, young, beautiful women modeling and displaying their sexual skills with this practice, but that's just a part of it. It's like seeing the beautiful yogis out there. Yeah, it's a part of it, but it's not all of it. There's so much more to it. And what there is to it that I offer, because that's what has been the biggest benefit for me, is the connection to joy, to aliveness, and to life as a force, to life as an energy that takes over and that brings you into this connection to everything that is. It's like when you connect to the power of your pussy, to the power of your pleasure, to life force, just feel this energy moving through you. So even in the moments in which, like my experience in the morning, I went through a state of freeze, an emotional flashback, I can allow myself to immediately go into awareness, shake it out, because, well, I cried it and I shaked it. I immediately felt my body wanting to move through it, because I am connected to my body through this practice that I want to share with you. So I will be sharing with you this practice on Thursday for free. The link is going to be here in the comments and in my feedback, so that you can join this class. It will be first an introduction and then a guided practice. You can do that with or without a JADE egg. And the idea is to just dance, feel, connect with our bodies, connect with our pleasure, connect with the life force that is so hungry for us just to live through it. Because we are a collective. We are not just individuals isolated. We all are connected through this life force. And that's the life force, the source that I want us to touch base with. So this is an invitation for you to join me in this class. I will be so happy to see you there. You have to subscribe first. There is no, you know, this is not a funnel. I will not write back to you unless you want me to. There is an option there. So there's no hidden cost or anything. It's free. It's a donation option in case you have an extra $1 that you want to share as a tip for the class, but it's not really necessary. It's, you know, as an extra. The idea is just to enjoy the practice together and to be able to have this connection moment together. It's on Thursday. So, but I won't leave you just like that. This is the invitation, but what I want to share with you right now is just a little practice. Okay, you cannot go on Thursday with me. What can you do right now to connect to your body? What can you do right now to just go back into your body and feel what's going on in your body? There is this very simple practice that I learned from a yoga teacher many years ago, and it's super simple. First of all, I want you to just focus on your hands, on the quality of warmth in your hands. To just play a little bit with energy here. Just play with the space between your hands as if it was, you know, a little ball of energy that you're creating from scratch. You start feeling the warmth in between your hands and how it becomes like this dense wall of air in between them that is warm. That's the energy. If you have never felt energy, that's what it feels like. I want you, as with energy, there is a very simple basic rule, and it's the more you pay attention to it, the more it grows. So the more you pay attention to this ball of energy and you push it back and forth with your hands, the more it's going to grow. Okay? So now you created a little ball of energy. It's just a little bit. You can feel the warmth in between your hands. And now with this ball of warmth energy, you're going to start rubbing your arms, not really touching it, just feeling your arms. Like if you were showering your arms with this energy. And as you do, I want you to just give a love message to your hands and to your arms and to your elbows. I want you to just hold them tight and think of how much they have done for you. All the weight they have carried for you. All the things they have allowed you to do. The moments in which you have touched your loved ones with your hands. The moments in which you have touched yourself with your hands. The moments in which you have carried your newborn in your arms. Or caress the face of the one you love. Just keep touching your hand and your arm and thinking about the most beautiful and delightful things you have done with it. Feeling strong and powerful when you lift weights, or feeling tender and soft when you hold somebody you love, or just when you cook for the ones that you love, or when you eat, thanks to your hands and your arms. I want you to say thank you. I want you to hold your hand in your other hand and to give it a hug. I can't because of the microphone, but just to say thank you. I love you. I love you so much, and I thank you so much. Thank you. And proceed with your other hand. You can go back into creating a little ball of energy and then giving the same treatment to your other arm. Wash your hands. That's important. Wash your hands before doing this and after doing this. Just make sure that you give yourself enough love without having... Isn't it horrible how much when you're supposed not to touch your face, you're like, oh my god, it itches. Okay, so just give yourself this love and this tenderness. This is a very simple practice. I will share more about this practice one day with you because it's so powerful and so simple. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. So just to recapitulate, I will be adding two links. The link of the interview I did with the trauma expert Shelby Lay, who is amazing, and the link with my invitation for my free JADE EGG class. I really hope you can join me there. See you soon.